Our direction is strategic. I don't think that you can operate a school district guessing where you're going. Our role is to work diligently in the classroom instruction area and helping teachers improve their instructional approaches and offering professional development in an array of settings where they too can do the type of teaching for the 21st century. I did want to mention that I hosted 11 students last week for lunch in my office. It was a blast. The luncheon was to solicit their ideas about what they were thinking about their future, and I wanted to know what they thought were the skills needed to meet the jobs that they were going to be employed in. I wanted to know if they thought we were preparing them to meet those challenges, and when I asked them how they best learn, some of the statements were really interesting, and they said things like, you know, it's good to hear other students' point of view. Social studies helps you learn about different cultures, and it helps address our own biases. Like technology, there are a few gaps between grades, and iPods are a great way to multitask. After I listened to them, I was validated that the direction that we're headed is definitely the right path. If any of those students, I don't know if they're probably home studying, you know, but if they are here tonight, if you would stand, I'm not sure if any of the students are here tonight. I loved all of your comments, and we'll have lunch again. I just had a blast. Thank you so much for coming and being with us. I want to talk briefly about a community outreach program. On April 27th, we will be hosting a 21st Century Community Forum right here in Pickerington, designed to help us determine where we are at on the spectrum of 21st century skills integration and what path we'll need to take for the future. Mr. Ken Kay will be facilitating the session, and he's here tonight to speak with you. Mr. Ken Kay has spent the past 25 years bringing education and business communities together to improve U.S. competitiveness. As a lawyer and a nationally recognized coalition builder, Ken has brought together universities and technology companies to advance research and development policy. He's brought together computer industry CEOs to advance U.S. trade and technology policy, and has facilitated many conversations between education and business leaders to forward the effective use of technology in K-12 education. He is now serving as president of the Partnership for 21st Century Skills since its inception in 2002. This P21 effort is supported by some of the leading businesses in the United States today, and they are becoming a voice, a leader, and a clear decision of where helping us make decisions and being a voice for the future of U.S. education. And tonight, we are Skyping in Mr. Ken Kay. So, Ken, can you hear me?
Absolutely. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
We sure can. Ken, you will be addressing the Pickerington community, and tonight we would like for you to talk to us a little bit about what you've been doing with P21, and to talk to us about your upcoming visit on April 27th. So welcome, and we're glad you're here with us.
Delighted to join you. I'm sorry I can't be there in person, but I'm looking forward to being with you at the end of April. I thought I would just share a few general comments about the importance of 21st century education initiatives going on around the country, and delighted that Pickerington is doing its own serious due diligence about where you are in this effort and what kind of a 21st century education initiative you ought to be embracing yourselves. The reality is, and we'll talk a lot about this on April 27th, the world is changing. We live in a global innovation economy, and we have to focus on what our students need to be able to do to be successful in that global innovation economy. The conclusion that P21 has come up with is that the 3 R's, as we know them, are not enough for students to be successful in the 21st century. We have focused on what does it take for every student to be ready. 21st century readiness for every student. And what we've come up with is the phrase that every student and every district needs to enable every student to be able to fuse the 3 R's with the 4 C's. We all know the 3 R's, but the 3 R's by themselves won't prepare students for the 21st century. The 4 C's are critical thinking and problem solving, communications, collaboration, and creativity and innovation. If every student could combine the 3 R's and the 4 C's, they'd be ready for the global innovation economy. When Doug Forrest spoke a couple of minutes ago, he said that the folks at Battelle said that what was important was the ability to solve messy problems. And we call that critical thinking and problem solving. But solving messy problems is a good description of what the 4 C's needs to entail. What excites me is that there are districts now all over the country, like yourself, that are either at the beginning of this conversation or some that are further along in the conversation, about really coming to closure on which of these skills is really important to be clear, to be intentional and purposeful in articulating. These are the outcomes for each of our students beyond math, science, English, and social studies. That we're going to be crisp, that every student needs to be a critical thinker, that every student needs to be able to communicate effectively, that every student needs to be able to collaborate, that every student needs to be creative and innovative. And in some districts, they're going further. They're adding the concepts of global citizenship, of financial literacy, of self-direction. And I'll be glad, I'm looking forward to taking those of you who join us on April 27th through that conversation and see if we can get some advice from the broader community, including the business community, to educators about which of these skills are most important in the view of the Pickerington community. The other thing that I think is very important is that we have policymakers around the country beginning to understand the importance of the 4 C's and the 3 R's. We are, at P21 now, have 14 state partners who have embraced the notion of fusing the 3 R's with the 4 C's, and our most recent state partner, as many of you know, is Ohio. We're thrilled that Ohio is going to be, is working on a 21st Century Skills statewide initiative. I'm going to be addressing a statewide conference on 21st Century Skills in Ohio on the 4th of May, a week after I'm with all of you. And I think it's an opportunity for you in your district to think about collaborating with the state leadership, educational leadership, and potentially being a shining star, a shining district, a leading district in Ohio in terms of 21st century education. So I want to leave you with the thought that there's so much to be done in each of our districts in the country in becoming more intentional and more purposeful about these 21st century outcomes. When I heard Andrea Baldwin speak a little bit ago and the great work she's doing as a curriculum integration specialist, the challenge I have for all of you is to think about, should we just be charging those curriculum integration specialists with the mastery of math, science, and English and social studies? Or do we also need to challenge them to teach teachers in your district to integrate the 4 C's, critical thinking, communications, collaboration, and creativity, into the way they teach the 3 R's in Pickerington? Those are the issues I'm going to be working with you on. Those are the issues I'm going to be challenging you on. But I want to congratulate all of you and Karen for your vision and leadership in just getting this process underway. And I look forward to being there at the end of April and working with you to consider how we make every student in Pickerington ready for the 21st century. Thanks so much.